I am so excited for this conversation. I happen to have known Sara Tillema for a little bit of time, and I was so thrilled when Sara decided that her camp at Zephyr Point was the perfect fit to be a member and be a part of Queer Camp Fair. So Sara, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me this morning. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your camp and who you are.
Yes. So I am the director of programs at Zephyr Point Conference Center in Lake Tahoe, which I'm biased, but I think is one of the most beautiful places in the world. We are a camp and conference center year round, and we run all sorts of programs and camps. But I will say that my absolute favorite camp that we run is Kingdom Camp at Zephyr Point. And this is our camp for queer identified youth. And we are excited to partner with an organization called Kingdom Community based out of Texas. And so we are one of 3 camps in this collective that's overseen by Kingdom Community. So we are so excited to be able to host this camp and do the amazing work of Kingdom here in Tahoe.
Awesome. Thank you. So tell me a little bit about the camp and what is it that makes it an affirming camp for queer kids?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I will say Zephyr Point is an affirming space. So every camp we run is affirming and is welcome to youth of any and all identities. That said, Kingdom Camp is special because it centers the experience of queer youth. So everything kind of surrounding queer experience and allowing young people to be able to lean into that identity where that is the central identity that's present. Of course, we do have some campers who are allies, who the only commitment for our campers who are allies is to just acknowledge that the center is going to be around queer identities. And we've had a lot of success with that, and it's been amazing. But our camp, we just strive to be a space where queer youth can show up as their full selves and know that they are loved, they are enough just as they are, that they don't need to change anything about themselves. And that's really the type of space that we try to create. And one of the ways that we do that is through emphasizing intergenerational relationships. So our camp, of course, the center of camp is queer youth. And then closely surrounding is a network of queer adults who come alongside these youth for the week. And our goal is really to have a ton of fun, celebrate who we are, but also to help instill confidence in this next generation that like being queer is something we can be proud of and something that we can hope for the future, that like it doesn't end here. Look at all of these queer thriving adults doing different things in the world. And someday you get to be one of those too. So we get to celebrate that and have relationships. And it's really amazing because we'll have a 70-year-old queer advocate who's been in queer activism for decades, sitting alongside a 14-year-old non-binary kid who is trying to figure out what this means in 2024, 2025. And it's just this beautiful thing that gets to happen in that space.
Oh, I love that so much. And that is so like incredibly important for these kiddos, especially now, right? With everything that is happening and all of the fear, to know that they're going to be okay and that they are going to be supported and affirmed and that there is life ahead. That is amazing. I am so glad that you have that experience for kiddos. So can you tell me a little bit about like what advice, I'm going to jump, I know I gave you some questions ahead of time. I'm going to jump ahead. I want to hear about, you know, if you have a parent who might be feeling a little anxious right now for their, what can you tell them? What do you want them to know that is going to help them get over any hesitancy that they might have about sending their kid to camp?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there's probably 2 ways that come to mind that parents may feel hesitant. The first is given the political environment, just fear around like, what does it mean to bring together all of these youth, and can we guarantee safety? So that's one element. So I would say to those parents that, I can't speak for every camp, but I can speak for ours, that safety is our absolute number one priority, and creating a space where our campers feel safe, and that we know that they're safe. I know that for us, we bring on a bunch of extra security for the week, and we've never had any reason to need that. This will be our third summer. And there's really never been a time where we were like, oh, thank goodness we had that security, but we're still going to keep having it and prioritizing that as something that's important, especially as the political landscape continues to shift. But what I would say, beyond safety, is that the relationships and the identity building that happens in this space is something that is so beautiful. And I know that many of these youth would not trade it for the world. And so while there is very real reasons to have fear right now, I would say that the benefits to allowing your kid to come and experience a place like this, whether it's at Zephyr Point or anywhere else in these other queer camps that are featured on Queer Camp Fair, I want to just encourage you to do your work to confirm the safety of the various places that you're looking to send your kid, but that ultimately the benefits are so great. So I would deeply encourage that. Then coming back around to this other element, if you are a parent that you're not sure and you're feeling hesitant, not because of safety, but just because you're not sure about this whole queer thing and what does it mean to allow my kid to show up in a space that is fully queer affirming. And I would again encourage you that the beauty and belonging that comes out of queer camps is so meaningful. And I would say that I can speak for myself as a camp director, but I would say that most, if not all, camp directors would love to engage with you in conversation about any fears that you might have about that, or if you're feeling unsure. This is not a space where we want you to be confused about what we're teaching and talking with your kid about. We want you to feel confident and safe that your kid is going to be loved in the space that you're sending them to. So first, I would say, thank you for being a parent that cares enough to be worried about such things. And also don't be afraid to ask questions, because I know that us camp directors are happy to answer them if you have any hesitation on that front.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. To me, the whole experience of camp is that opportunity for kids to really, truly just focus on who they are, right? As autonomous human beings. I know, when parents we want to protect, we want to help, we want to guide. Sometimes we got to let go and let them figure themselves out, which is fantastic. So tell me, I would love to hear sort of an example or a story that you have of an experience that really captures what it is to be at camp with you.
Yeah. So we do all sorts of amazing and fun things throughout the week. Yeah, just sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I wish I could talk for the next hour about all the amazing things that happen at Kingdom Camp. But I do want to share one specific story. So the past 2 years, it has become tradition that on the last night of camp, so for us, that's Thursday night, we have a big celebration. And as part of this celebration, we bring in drag queens to do an amazing show for us. And so it has, the past 2 years, this is by far the highlight of camp for everyone, all the adults, all the kids. It just is this perfect crown jewel to end camp with. And it's this beautiful and affirming experience. And this was 2 years ago. At the end of the drag show, unprompted, a group of campers, about 20 of them, went up to the stage by themselves, and they all linked arms and they recited together, "We're here, we're queer, and we're not going to disappear." And it was just this beautiful moment, because that's what we want kids to walk away from camp with that truth, and for them to feel that in their hearts. And it was just this like, come on, like we can't even plan this if we wanted to. Like these kids, like at the end of this drag show coming up, the queens are crying. It was just this beautiful, amazing moment. And that's just one little moment, but that's really what we're all about.
Oh, that is beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything else that you want to share about your camp, or a message that you want folks to hear from you?
I would just say that for parents that are considering sending your kid to a camp, there are so many amazing camps out there doing incredible work to create safe spaces for your kiddo. And so thanks to Jennifer for creating a space where we can all come together and list our camps. But that I would just encourage you to find the place that's going to be right for you and your family. And even though there's so much happening in the world that is counter messaging to the reality that our kids are sacred and beautiful just as they are, I would encourage you to make that leap and send your kid to camp, and especially any camp, I guess, but queer camp is even better.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah, for all that you are doing and for taking the time to chat with me about your camp.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a great one.
You as well.